Hello my beautiful friends and welcome to Tailor Made Beauty by Kris. I just went to my mailbox and there finally is my Tati Beauty order. And I have been watching so many influencers that she sent her PR package to review this palette, and without fail, when they swatch it or put it on, they just go, oh! It takes their breath away. So I wanted to get this shot so I can go play with it and then come back and finish up this video and do a few looks for you. So when you open the box, there's Tati, and not surprisingly, there is some environmentally friendly packaging here. And I know that it's quite a big palette. I feel like I know all about this palette except having seen it. So I like that there were several layers keeping this protected and that this is all very easily recyclable. And then even the little plastic sleeve, I can recycle with my plastic bags. So here is, it's in a sleeve, Tati Beauty. Alright, and then that's what the cover looks like. Tati Beauty Volume 1. She's already talked about, like, she's got 30 volumes planned out. She's got this planned out for years to come. And, alright, so I was afraid that it was going to be super huge. So while it is a large palette, I can still hold it with one hand. So it's not stupid large. And I gotta say that these pans of shadow are huge. And yes, there is a really lovely big mirror on it. So let's just start swatching. In case you don't know, across the bottom she has names, and then up to the side categories. So for example, it says memory, ritual, story, soothe, aura, and poet. And then this bottom row is all mattes. This row is what she calls sequins, then glitters, and then metallic, and then glitters. So let's just get into swatches. And of course there are 6 colors, and so I'm gonna do my best. I've got my wipes. I am really trying to be better at the quality of swatching I do, so this is just another opportunity for me to practice. So starting with Poet, Aura, and Story in the mattes. Oh wow, and I can even see in my monitor how much pigment that laid down. Yeah. That's really gorgeous. No surprise there. And most recently I watched Wayne Goss review this palette. And I like what he pointed out. These are very wearable colors. There's nothing super crazy here, but also it's not super timid. Okay, so now going in with Story, Ritual, and Memory. Oh, look at that. Look at just how that color lays down. Wow. Yeah. So pigmented, which is what I've been hearing about this palette. It's just really lovely. Let's move into these sequins. And what I've been hearing about these, and now that I see it in person, I can see for myself, is that these are mattes with some some crystals or some glitter in them, and it doesn't read on camera particularly well. But you in person you can see that, for example, in that Poet one, that there are like some lavender and pink sparkles. And in the Soothe, which is that top one, there's some gold and maybe like a bright green that give it just a really nice shimmer to it. And let's pick up the other three. That's Story, which is the orange, Ritual, which are the browns, and Memory, which are the blacks. And oh, okay, I mean, even just on my fingers. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's some kind of crazy good. That is some kind of crazy good pigments. Yeah. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, moving on to the metallics. And look, I already need another wipe. That's how good these are. This is the kind of good where I just want to go wash off my makeup and put this on. But I will refrain from that, I think. Maybe I'll just pop some glitter on my eyelid. Because really, when you get a palette like this, you want to have some fun with it. All right, back to Poet, Aura, and Soothe again. And now these are in the metallics. Oh. Yeah. All right, come on, focus. Pick that up. There we go. And I will say, having seen makeup artists and YouTubers who do a much better job of swatching than I do, this palette, you really have to see it in person to fully appreciate it. And of course, unless you have a friend that has purchased it, the only way you can see it in person is to buy it. And I want to say that I should have looked up the price. I'm sorry. I think it was like $49, but by the time shipping and tax got in there, it was $59. I do know that it is sold out. Now what Tati said was that she has the materials. She has the packaging. She has the pigments. Oh, sorry, just wow. Wow, wow, wow. She has all of it ready to go to make the next batch of them. But then after that, it's going to take a while. So I would say if you missed out on the first release and you're really interested, you may want to, I think she is taking like pre-orders for the second release. Okay, the moment of truth. The glitters. This is what, oh. Yeah. Oh yeah, come on, focus, there we go. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh yeah. Look at that. They are so shiny, so sparkly, so wet looking. And you just put a little, look at just almost, I mean, almost everything transferred. What didn't transfer is because how I was doing it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. But yes, they are glitters because when you wipe them off, you're still, come on, focus. There we go. Still very sparkly. Well, that will be fun for tonight. I'm taking bridge class. I am learning how to play bridge, and it's fascinating. And I come out of class and my brain hurts. My brain hurts like it did back in college, taking, you know, advanced thermodynamics or aerodynamics classes, as my undergraduate degree is aerospace engineering. And I love it. I think it's got to be so good for my 51-year-old brain to be doing that. But I'm gonna try not to be too sparkly tonight. Okay, and now the last three glitters, the story, the ritual, and the memory. And then you know I'm putting one of these on, right? Okay, there it is on my fingers. And here it goes. Oh, wowzers. All right, there it is. Wow. So beautiful. So, so beautiful. Okay, that's swatching. I will definitely be doing looks for you out of this palette. So, thanks for joining me for the fun part. Stay tuned for the rest. Oh, I did tell you I was going to put one of these on, right? I think with what I'm wearing already, I'm going to go in with, it's so hard to choose. I'm going to go in with Ritual, which is that one. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Oh, Mama's gonna be sparkly tonight. But it's gorgeous. It's to die for. It is so pretty, goes on so easily. Oh my gosh. Love it. Okay, all right. Now on to the next look. Today I want to use the colors out of Story. But before I do that, I am going to take the matte from Aura and a pretty big brush and just lightly go over my entire eyelid to give that a set base. That's just gonna, I did prime my eyes with my MAC paint pot, but I do find that a thin layer of either a very light eyeshadow or even translucent powder gives eyeshadow a much better base. I get better blending out and better results. And I will say that is a really, really light color. All right, and now from Soothe, I am going in with that matte to put down my crease. And I just have sort of a fluffy crease brush. There we go. Fluffy crease brush for that. And some people have mentioned that there is some fallout to this. And so I have not done my face makeup. I'm doing my eyeshadow first, and just in case there is some fallout, I will do the rest afterwards. That is lovely, and like everybody else I've watched has said, it blends like a dream. I think Tati really did a ton of work on this palette, and I think it is showing, although, you know, this is my first look, I think it is showing in how these shadows work. And why is it that I'm always heavier handed with the second eye than I am the first? Does anybody else suffer that? You got any hints for me? I would love to know. Because then I feel like I've got to go redo the first one and then it gets too dark. Anyway, such is life. You know what I'm going to try? I'm going to try to just go back in a little bit more with that aura and see if I can't just lighten it up a little bit by working some of that lighter shade in there. Hey, that worked. Okay, now let's go in with that matte from Story. And I am using a MAC 221. This is, it's, you know, the same type of brush, this crease one, but it's much smaller. And I do that because my eyes are pretty small. So I will tap that off. Start out on the outer corner, little windshield wiper, and going down to the lash line. And I'm really working that into the crease, not going high up to do that, create that faux crease yet. I'm just working it into the crease and bringing it down to the lash line on the outside. I want a little bit more. That's really pretty. And I gotta say, it's blending very nicely. So I am gonna just take a moment and take a blending brush just to smooth that, smooth the edges, distribute it, make it not quite so intense. And now I'm going to try to do the same on the other side. And I gotta say, this blends beautifully. It's so smooth, really, really, really lovely. And I'm going to pick up both the Soothe and the Story, just going kind of back and forth between those two pans, tapping off. Oh, I did that with my blending brush. Oops. Okay, well, it's done now. And just work that. There, that just deepened that up. And I guess now I will, what I was using for my crease before is now my blending brush. All right, it's not quite as fluffy, but it did get the job done. Now I think I want to go into the Story Metallic for the movable parts of my lids. Oh, it just feels like butter, and look at that. All right. That is so gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, beautiful. All right, I think what I would like to do is put a little more depth here on the outer corner so it doesn't look quite so monochromatic. And I have this, there we go, it is a Luxie 245. It is a small shader brush. That's the important part, that is a small shader brush. And I'm gonna go into this dark brown here in Ritual. And just pick up a little bit on one side, and now be very mindful of where I'm placing it. just mimicking that outer 7. And you know what? This made a much better blending brush. Let's see if I've got something here I can clean it off on. Give me just a moment. There. Yes, that's really nice. And that's just what I wanted. I just wanted a little more dimension, depth, and weight out here, and to break up what was becoming a very monochromatic look. So I'll do the same thing, hopefully, on the other side. Oh, it just blends so beautifully. I do not consider myself a really good blender, and so when I can look at it and go, oh, that's exactly what I wanted it to do, I'm going to give props to the shadow. Okay, I want to do my brow arch and my inner corner, and I think I will try I'm going to try the metallic in Aura. I was going to say the sequin, but I think that's just a little too light. So let's just do right up under the arch of my brow. Yep. That's what I was going for. Perfect. Just a wee bit of brightening there. All right, now for under the eyes, I am going to take a Morphe 408 smudger brush, and I'm going to start with the same thing I used in my crease, the matte out of Soothe. And I'm bringing that about 80% of the way over. It's a light color. It is just doing a nice shadow down there. I'm so sorry. This palette's getting heavy. I'm going to set it down and use my mirror right here for a second. Yeah, I'm seeing just a little bit of fallout. Not bad, but it's from that metallic, and I really will want to get that off my skin before I put my foundation on. And now going into the matte from Story, same brush. I'm actually just picking up a little bit from Soothe, kind of that back and forth like I did before. And now I can connect that up above and just doing the outer third. And there is quite a bit of kick up in the pan. That doesn't bother me, but you should just know. And then let's dab between Ritual and Story, again with those mattes, and just to connect it to up above, and again the outer little bit. And I'm going back to my blending brush and just blending that little bit of a harsh line that I created. Oh, loving it. And last but not least, before I disappear to finish up my look, I am going in with the matte from Memory, which is that black, to do my lash line. And I can't hold this palette and do that. And I'm gonna pop over to the magnifying side of my mirror over here. And really what I'm doing is just working it in at the lash line so it doesn't take up any of the movable part of my lid. And down in the inner corner here, actually come down, sort of fill in where the lashes are really sparse there. But see that extra, just that little bit of extra definition that this eye has, that this eye doesn't have yet. I so appreciate when there is a good matte black in a palette that lets me do this technique. I have mentioned before, I don't tightline very often anymore. That is, put eyeliner under my lash line by my waterline, because I'm still having some dry eye problems, and that exacerbates those problems because it covers over the oil ducts that keep your eyes lubricated. All right. Oh. Wow. Okay, so what I can say, I feel like here doing this first look, that this eye palette makes me look like I am much better at my makeup than I feel like I am. So Tati, thank you for that. I'm gonna pop off, finish up, and come back and show you the finished look. And here is my final look today. I gotta say, I'm in love. It's beautiful, beautiful colors, beautiful textures, so easy to work with. I think it's amazing. Let's do another one tomorrow. For today's look, I'm going to be getting into the Poet column. But like the other one, I am going to start with Aura to just lay down a light coat of powder. Today, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills primer. And the matte in Soothe worked really well for Kris yesterday, so I'm going to do that again today. All right, now I am going to go in with the matte out of Poet, and I am using, this is a Wayne Goss number 19. It is a small brush, like the MAC 221 is a similar kind of brush, so just something small. And you know, I mentioned the kick up in the pan, and I was watching Tati the other day, and you know, she made a very good point, which is if there's not kick up in the pan, if it's really kind of hard pressed formula or a harder formula in the pan, then it doesn't have the beautiful blending that this shadow does. So like I said, I really don't mind the kick up in the pan. Once again, on my left, I've picked up way more pigment than I have on my right. And even though that's kind of looking like a bit of a hot mess, I am going to take my very fluffy Wayne Goss number 16, so just a big fluffy blending brush, and smooth that out. There. And that is more like what I had in mind. I still feel like this side, a little lighter than this side. So let me just, okay, that is a bit more even. And I am gonna go in with the metallic, and I'm just gonna use my finger. They feel so smooth and buttery. Here we go. And I'm gonna kind of pat and drag that on the movable part of my lid. That came out lovely. As did that. Very pretty. And now right in the middle, I am going to take my pinky and I am going in with the sequin. That's the one that's like a matte, but it's got some flecks in it, and maybe, can you see? I think you can see that. And I'm just going to go on the outer part of my lid here with that. Okay, and what I'm gonna do now is I am taking a small shader brush. This is one from a company, Refer, they're just starting, and this is their O2, but just any small shader brush. And I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of that metallic on the brush, just on one side. And now I'm going to go back over what I just laid down to smooth it out and just give that depth and darkness on the outside. All right, that worked nicely. And you know, excuse me, what I would like to do, I just kind of want to mellow this upper crease out a little bit. So I am going to take Softy, which is what I put in the crease and what's underneath that, and go back over it. There. You see what a difference that made? Just kind of mellowed it out a little bit. And now I'm going to take my blending brush and really work that in. Okay. And I'm feeling like the movable part of my lid is getting a little lost. So I'm going to pick up some more of that sequin. I'm feeling a little more monochromatic than I want to be, and I'm not sure what to do about that. Let me, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a MAC 221 little crease brush, and I'm going to go into the matte Aura, that really light color, and go over the top here, under my brow, and cover over a little bit of that kind of hot mess I have going on in my crease. And this over here I'm going to clean up. Again today, I hope you can tell, I haven't done my foundation, and I will clean up that line before I do my foundation. And I want to pick up a little bit of Ritual, that matte, that darker brown. That's what I did yesterday as well. Just giving it a little bit more out here, a little more depth. And I'm actually going to take that crease brush again to blend that instead of the super big fluffy Wayne Goss one I was using. Oh, yeah, that's what I intended. And for the lower lash line, I've got a Morphe smudger brush here, Morphe M508. And let's go like we did yesterday. I'm going to take Soothe and go most of the way across. Do make sure you are tapping out your brush if you have the Tati palette. Otherwise, it's just going to be a hot mess down here. It's already a little bit of a hot mess. And now back into the matte from Poet. And I really am wanting a little something on the center of my lids. So I am going to try, here, I'm just going to swatch these two. This is Aura, that really light column. And that is the metallic and the sequin. I think the metallic. And I'm just going to pop that right in the center and just tap it to blend it. That was nice. That was a really nice effect. Pretty much what I had in mind. And I think today I will go ahead and tightline with eyeliner. So you know the drill. See you in a minute. And here is the final Poet look. I gotta say that looking through my lipsticks and my lip glosses, the Charlotte Tilbury Amazing Amal was a really good compliment for this look. And then I just kept it really light on my cheeks. So I think it's pretty. I've got to say though, if you own the Urban Decay Born to Run palette, I think you could do a very similar look. Okay, let's move on to the next one.